Good morning and welcome to the Red Net Show, where it's always morning, even in the afternoon. I am your host, Jay Edgar, and due to the continued absence of my regular co-host, I am joined by somebody I am proud to call probably one of my best friends in the world, Mr. Stephen Ignoramus. Stephen, welcome.
Hi. Hello. What's going on? Thanks for having me on. I'm very excited to talk shop today, talk some news stuff, and always love coming on the program.
I think this is the first time you've been here since you've been in your new studio. We were talking about that just a little bit off mic here, so that's kind of cool. I like that. I see you've got some new stuff in the background, including that instrument over there that talks over there.
Yeah, true.
I haven't seen you play that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's hard to play, but it's kind of just a gimmick.
What is that called again?
Ooh.
I know you knew it at one point.
It's called an automaton. Automaton.
Automaton.
Yep.
That is neat. I like. If you want.
Hold on here. The mid sound is the best. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you are no stranger to the news, and you're no stranger probably to a large amount of our audience here as well. So welcome back to the show. Welcome back to coming back and doing this. And also, thank you for participating in the Turn Some Pages Productions Network once we get that up and running. That's been one thing I've been trying to make sure that all the Turn Some Pages people get to come on here and pitch their stuff, tell their story and everything here while we are waiting for the GoFundMe to fill up and get the $2,000 up that we're trying to get to for right now. So that's going to be pretty cool. So for those of us who are new to the audience and not a part of your audience out here, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a streamer, and I'm a musician, and I'm a Christian, and I don't know. Probably most of the people listening to your show have at least checked out a show or two of mine, but I do a program called The Daily Ignoramus every weekday at 10 a.m., so it's basically right after you. So you're usually finishing up like 10:15 these days, and then the people transition over. But I'm working on my music career, working on just interviewing people, and trying to tell the truth in this clown world times we're in.
The truth. Are you? I know you're a 9/11 truther. Are you a COVID truther? Climate truther?
Yeah.
Rittenhouse truther?
Just a truther, man. Yeah, I mean I'm kind of. I mean, I've been called a conspiracy theorist before, but and I don't reject that label, to be honest. In fact, a lot of the stuff that I talk about when this comes up on my show is why that's actually a good label. It's truthful enough that it's fine, but it's kind of interchangeable with truther, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I think that almost every big event is a psyop.
Well, we'll probably be talking about a few psyops here tonight as well, because we have got a full schedule here. I think this is the most main topics I've had for quite a while off of this, but we'll try to fly through them as much as we can. Loudoun County has been in the news on and off for the past few weeks here, so we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the updates that went along with that, including an incredibly based walkout that was against somebody from the LGBTQ alphabet mafia out there, which I thought was insanely fucking based. I don't know if you saw any of that or not, but we'll be talking just a bit about that. The McAuliffe and Youngkin race, and you being a former Virginia resident, probably know a little bit about this here, but that has taken some interesting and weird turns as we've gone off, so we'll talk about full numbers, and we're going to talk about this weird tiki torch thing that happened over the weekend with pictures, so we'll go with that. The Rittenhouse trial is set to start. Actually, the jury selection started today, and I'll talk a bit about some of the stuff that I saw, because for those of you who watch my channel regularly, you know that I was just down there probably an hour ago. In fact, some of you probably saw that here and probably know that's part of the reason that I am a little bit behind right now is because, I had to go talk to a member of Racine County on the way back, but I'm not going to go too far off with that and talk about too much of that, but we will talk about the Rittenhouse trial here. There's some COVID news we need to touch on, including pushbacks to the vaccines, some new international travel rules that have come off of this. Florida is offering to take off some of the backlog from other parts of the country, whether it be in shipping or police, which I'm sure is going to make our friend John very happy because there are going to be more cops in Florida. I'm sure he loves that. but we'll talk just a bit about that. The metaverse has dropped, or is going to be dropping here, so we'll talk just a bit about what's going on there. And have you ever seen or read Ready Player One, by the way? I know you like to read and watch more movies than I do.
No, I actually don't really know what that. I mean, I know like the basics of it. I'm gonna try a different mic real fast. People are telling me I'm breaking up. So, can you hear me there?
Yeah, it's a little bit echoey, but your chop went away.
Yeah, I think we should try to live with that. I mean, yeah, I'm just talking to my camera now, so let's just deal with that. Let's just do it that way and live with the echo. But
If you
no,
get
I'm not.
more, if you get more of the echo, you'll sound like a deity.
Yeah, I want to. I might even grab the headset in a second, which would be kind of corny. But yeah. So I mean, I'm not the big Ready Player One mind. I'm not. There's a lot of parts of pop culture that I just missed, but I'm very encyclopedic on other pop culture things. But a lot of the like gaming, fantasy stuff, I just missed.
We also have to talk a little bit about the budget that's changing up over the week and the fact they're going to try to push reconciliation through after all on a much lower number and whether or not they can get blocked from the left. Plus, I've got a little bit of surprise stupidity to round out the rest of the show here because who doesn't love surprise stupidity over here on the RedNet Show? Thanks for checking us out over on YouTube, DLive, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter, except I don't know where to find it on Twitter, but it's there. They assure me it's streaming to there. I just don't know where to find it. But thanks for checking me out on all those platforms if you're on YouTube. And the fact that we talk about some controversial stuff, make sure you go check out one of those other platforms, including Twitch, where I actually get paid to do this. So go and check that out. I like money. I like money a lot,
Nice.
so if you guys could go back and do that, that would be awesome. Or catch us back on demand over on YouTube and over on BitChute.com, audio platforms, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. I promise I will get caught back up with this once again at some point here. But with that, we are going to go into this. But before we do that, I wanted to feature something here because you, as a musician, you talked about this already, and you know, I've had you do music before for me, and I actually borrowed something that you had already done previously because I liked it so much here. And I asked you if you could do an opening for season 3. You couldn't, scheduling got there, but you will be featured as the opening act for season 4 of the RedNet Show, or Ed's World if I change the name back because somebody isn't coming back. You will be doing the opening for that, and I actually, I've said this to other people on the Discord chat. I love watching you compose music because you are so into it. You're so passionate about it with every fiber of your being. But it's one of the things I admire about you the most is the level of passion that you have in everything that you do. You have more passion for mucka bucka than most people have for their main hobbies.
True. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
But let's have a listen to what that's going to sound like for season 4. And this is my first time hearing this too, by the way. Uh-oh. It stopped.
Uh-oh.
Why did it stop?
No, it shouldn't have. I can play it from my end if you want.
I don't know if you'll be able to share the audio off it or not.
Oh, yeah, I can. Yeah, just enable it. I got it. Yeah.
I don't know how to enable it. What the fuck?
You click multiple participants can share at once under the share screen option. Okay. This is also what I do for a living is teach this on Zoom. So, okay, you got it.
Yeah, there it goes. Kind of like where that's going to go, and it kind of fits with some of the other stuff that I've had going on in it. Even the Cruel Summer remix that we had for season 2 kind of fits in. It's got that that slow kind of soft beat to it, and it still kicks in. It gives me some time to go check my monitors and make sure everything is going before I have to bring it back down and start talking again. So I like it. I
Yeah.
like it a
Yeah.
lot.
I mean, like it's very easy for me to compose a song if I'm given like a template. I mean, you gave me that Donkey Kong song, and
Yeah.
I didn't fit it. Like, just having some sort of template or frame is so helpful. So I'm glad you enjoy it. I'll send you a couple more versions. There's some stuff I just heard that has to be tweaked a little bit. So unlimited updates. So if you want something different, just let me know.
Yeah, let's do that, and let's collaborate for a later season then too off of this here. But we got to get into some news today because that's what we're here for, unfortunately. And some of this is going to be some crazy stuff, and we will take live chat in between topics too. So guys, if you're here and we're not paying attention to you right now, do make sure that you're getting in on some of this here because we will answer your questions in between topics. All right, let's get into it though, shall we? We're
Yeah,
going to
let's do it,
start with
man.
this one that broke over the weekend here, and we're going to read from Shapiro's site, the Daily Wire. Southwest Airlines pilot says, "Let's go, Brandon." CNN analyst likens the remark to "Long live ISIS." And we actually have video and audio of that. I don't know if you heard the audio of this, but we can actually hear this from the plane, so let's listen.
Activate the bell
After we
button.
get
Thank you.
past his subscribe. Please subscribe for my 1-minute video. Yeah, go away.
About 7 or 8 miles an hour. Good visibility, mostly clear skies, 77 degrees. Thanks for coming out flying with Southwest Airlines. Welcome aboard. And remember, let's go Brandon.
Okay. I heard some theories today that he might have been saying "Let's go Braves." I hadn't heard that yet, and it does kind of cut off at the end.
Yeah, he was tapering off at the end, but I can almost hear that it was "Let's Go, Brandon" on my end.
You hear it? Can
Yeah.
we play it just the very end one more time?
Yes, I will get in past where the guy was shilling for his own subscribe.
7 or 8 miles an hour. Good visibility, mostly clear skies, 77 degrees. Thanks for coming out flying with Southwest Airlines. Welcome aboard. And remember, let's go Brandon.
He said Brandon.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I heard like the end. Because I heard there's some chatter about it because they're going into Atlanta and they're in like the World Series. Something I don't know what it is, but yeah, I mean, active terrorism, right?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that really gets me out of this here. And I listened to Styx's videos on the way home, and it didn't click with me until I heard him say it. But I'm like, they're afraid of memes.
Yeah, they can't. They have no comedy in them, and the reason they have no comedy in them is they have no truth in them. They don't have like there's a fundamental like awareness issue of the liberal mind. They can't like handle it. It's so weird. So that's why I support it. That's one of the reasons I came out in support of the "Let's Go Brandon" meme. A lot of people thought it was cringe early. I fully support it because it takes. I don't like group vulgarity, like group swearing. Like, that's like when Beta O'Rourke was like, "Yeah, we're coming for your effing guns," and everyone's like, "Yeah, he swore because he means it." Like, I just think that group swearing is kind of ass, and it's just funny. It unites the like 3 generations. Like, I know it's a kind of boomer cringe. It's a kind of boomer con whatever. But it's like, I don't know, it's kind of wholesome. It means less F words are being said around kids. And like there's 4 songs in the top 10 that are "Let's Go Brandon." I mean, this is good news.
It is. But one of the vocal critics about this, Asha Rangappa over at CNN, who is the first one to come out and say that this was a terrorist and ISIS call and everything else like that, mysteriously, after she did this, she got this letter here that I found on Twitter on the way over.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking at it. Damn.
From Mr. X, mysteriously with no email address attached to that. "Let's go, Brandon, and fuck you, Asha, you old hen cunt. Last guy that got an erection from you was 20 years ago." And actually, I quote tweeted this back out and I said, "Well, Asha, if you didn't like it, maybe you shouldn't have sent it to yourself."
Yeah, I mean, I mean, maybe someone did do that, but I don't even care at this point. Like this is some grifter with some former spook. Look at this, man. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit whether who sends. I mean, I get hate mail. I don't care. Like former FBI special agent, lawyer, faculty at Yale, Tiger-ish mom, CNN analyst, Steam mop influencer views mine. Ugh.
Yeah.
All that it's missing is the pronouns and the blue wave.
Hey, I have
Ugh.
pronouns in my bio.
Yeah. No, I mean like unironic ones.
Yeah, my pronouns are your/mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you remember this whole thing, the pandemic of the unvaccinated? I almost put this in the Pinko Pox, but this was worth talking about at the top of the show. That whole pandemic of the unvaccinated, only the unvaccinated are the ones in the hospital. The red-haired bobblehead has COVID.
Yeah. True.
From the
Raggedy
Associated
Ann or
Press,
whatever.
White House Press Secretary Psaki says she has COVID-19, which leads me to wonder, what is it that they don't want her to contend with Ducey over? Because that's a convenient way out of her doing press briefings.
Dude, I want them to fight to the death. That's my take on that. I just want Ducey and I want Ducey to drop a big Ducey on Saki in the octagon.
Oh, I want him to have a war of the words and then start making out afterwards.
Yeah.
Because there's that kind of tension there. There is that
so
kind of tension
gross.
there.
Oh man, disavow. Hard disavow.
Buttigieg got in the news right before I went live this morning on Contemporary here because Buttigieg twins were dressed as twin infrastructure for Halloween. Tweeted from the Hill, but when you click on the article, page not found.
Yeah.
So even they thought it was in bad taste.
Yeah. I put a meme up on Instagram the other day. I guess it was yesterday. It was like on one part of the meme, it was like people like slave masters whipping blacks or whatever, and it says you can't just buy a person, and then it says the butt stuff twins with their twin babies.
I saw that one.
Yeah, that's totally buying a person.
Here's one out of New York City. De Blasio's bid to rid New York City of Trump name could cost the taxpayers over $30 million. Reading from the New York Post, New York City's attempts to divorce itself from former President Trump have turned into a comedy of errors, one that could end up sticking the taxpayers with a not-so-funny $30 million bill. After the January 6th selfie fest, Mayor Bill de Blasio vowed to rid the city of Trump, aiming to become a hero of progressives. On January 13th, the mayor said he would yank the Trump Organization's longtime concession contracts to operate the historic Central Park Carousel, Woolman, and Lasker skating rinks in the park, and the Trump Ferry Point golf course in the Bronx. So, they waited for the contracts to expire on the skating rink and the concessions with that. But they have a long-term, I believe it's a forever contract to the golf course on the other side of the river. And it will be $30 million to get it removed.
Wow. So, I mean, these people are just destructors of society, man.
Yeah.
They just spend. I mean, look, I'm not a big fan of stuff being named after, I don't know, like modern people. Like I like the historical stuff. I'm definitely upset about the monuments and stuff. I'm like a hardliner on that stuff, but it never should have been there in the first place. But since it is, at least it's like a wall that exists functionally, or whatever the infrastructure or whatever the thing might be. Say it's a display or whatever. All they want to do is destroy it and like replace it with Obama in front of some ferns, and which is like the most ugly. Their style of art is communist art is so ugly, and it's just a shame because I mean at least Trump is likable, and it's just a damn shame. But something tells me, I mean, they want to own the history books. They want to like erase everything that isn't them, which is just it's gonna end in camps or some shit.
Yeah, and I cut it for time, but they commissioned a guy to repaint the Blue Boy in a modern imagining, and it was a black guy in a tie-dye T-shirt and shorts with an Apple Watch, and it was the same guy that did the Obama painting, and he's in front of seashells.
Yeah, it's like everything's like gay, liberal, black, and transhumanist now.
All right, let's keep going. So I'm not going to read into this because we've both read this on our shows, but I want to discuss a little bit of this because, well, you were there, you were on the ground, so you saw what people were actually doing here. But I've got this letter here that Brad Geyer, who's an attorney, white collar
Yeah.
criminal defense and recent draftee attorney, it's a letter that he drafted out in tweets, in chunks, from his client Nathan DeGrave, going over some of the things that they are going through in prison, in basically what is DC's Guantanamo Bay, the DC DOC. Pod C2B, they said, they're talking about malnutrition, they're talking about sewage coming out, flowing onto the floors, people are missing medicine, they're missing surgeries. Now, I'm all for innocent until proven guilty, but I have no trust for the government either. We can't verify these accusations, but these are people who went against the narrative, and the government's been trying to get other people shut down. So I have reason to believe that this is true.
Yeah.
And I've read the whole thing. I know you've read the whole thing as well.
Yeah.
So what was your take on this? Especially given from what you saw that day.
Honestly, like exactly. Well, I mean, what I saw that day, or like what happened that day, is pretty irrelevant as far as whether like it's right or wrong. What's being like, it's like there's a couple questions to answer about that. Is like, one, is it happening or no? And if it is, then is it justified or no? And I kind of agree with you on that. This sounds believable. It's like shocking, but believable to me. But it's also a lot of why are the people that are there when a lot of the other people have already been released on, like, there's not like crazy bails from this stuff. There's not many like huge, like 10K plus, 50K, 100K bails from this case. Right. So it's like, why are those people there now? Are they, I mean, I believe it because like things happen in prison all the time that people don't even talk about. There's no cameras, whatever, but it just seems so politically skewed, like such like a egregious example of, if all true, it's such an egregious example of political persecution that it seems almost unbelievable for like our society, which we openly acknowledge is crumbling, so that's why it might be, yeah, I believe it. I believe that it's happening. There's some weird stuff coming out. Like they are trying to squeeze it for as many victim points as possible. That's the part that's kind of weird for me, because they'll bring up things like missing their dog and stuff in these letters. And it's like, I don't know. It's dude, something about this case stinks, man. The January 6th stinks on like 5 levels, dude. I don't even know what to, like, I'm a super truther on January 6th.
All right. Speaking of truther, the ongoing lawsuit for the Trump train has been revealed with audio clips
still
that
going
San Marcos
on. Oh my gosh, man.
The 911 dispatch confirms that San Marcos police refused to send the escort to the Biden bus. Reading from the Texas Tribune, as supporters of then-President Trump surrounded and harassed a Joe Biden campaign bus on a Central Texas highway last year, San Marcos police officials and 911 dispatchers fielded multiple requests. San Marcos refused to help an amended federal lawsuit over the 2020 freeway skirmish claims. Transcribed 911 recordings and documents reveal the behind-the-scenes communications. We're not going to do it, Dainzer told a 911 dispatcher, according to the amended filing. We will close patrol of that, but we're not going to escort a bus. So when I looked at this, you may have a different opinion off of this than I do, but when I look at this, if any of the people that did the 911 call paid taxes in San Marcos, then they have some standing for the lawsuit, because that's part of the agreement, is that you call the police, they show up if you pay the taxes there. They have some standing. It's probably still laughable, but they have some standing. But also, at the time that this happened, the left in this country, including the Biden campaign, was on a 6-month campaign of all cops are bastards. And if you've been being called a bastard for 6 months, are you going to jump up to help the people that have been calling you that? Is that going to be a priority for you?
I don't, to be honest, I don't even really have an opinion on in this case. Like, it's just, I didn't even know. I thought you were talking about a different lawsuit. I thought you were talking about like the Trump New York lawsuits for like the tax stuff. But either way, yeah, I mean, do you believe in the social contract?
I believe that if you pay taxes, you should get your money back out of it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, for sure. You should. Yeah, but like, is that a thing? My point and my question is does that point get made in civil court at all? Like, is that a
I,
valid point?
I've, I've never heard it made in a civil court, but that doesn't necessarily
It's
mean
like
it's never
the
happened.
point. It's the point. Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah. So, but did you see that video? I mean, that was from a while back. Did
I
you see that
told you
video?
about that video. The
Well, we watched
the
it.
crossover SUV
Yeah,
that
we watched it.
swerved into the truck and then tried to claim victim points.
Yeah, that's a bullshit video. Like, yeah, like why did they lie about everything, man?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, look, I hope they win. I hope the good guys win. That's like, I hate to say it, but I'm like full on tribalism now. I mean, I think a lot of people are too, and I think they should be. It's like, so I hope that the people now, I mean, it's not just tribalism. Look, if it was clearly an aggressive act by the Trump people, then yeah, they should have to pay restitution. But look, I mean, that video was bullshit. I remember it now. Like the staffer swerved over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
These
then tried to
people,
claim victim points.
yeah, it's retarded. So anyway,
I've seen 15 angles of that video, and in every one of
yeah,
them, the black pickup truck never left his lane.
yeah, these people are full of shit. It's like, yeah.
Speaking of which, we got to keep going here. Let's try something different. Minneapolis residents to vote on ballot measure to replace the police department.
Wow. What does that mean? I mean, like fully, like everybody.
3 weeks before Election Day in the city's municipal races, Candace McElvey attended a debate about a ballot initiative to replace the Minneapolis Police Department with a Department of Public Safety.
Hmm.
Let's see. She agrees with the measure's proponents that the city's police department is broken and in desperate need of an overhaul, but she fears revamping it would mean losing the city's popular black police chief.
Oh, this is such a bad idea. Yeah. Okay, so they want to do the whole social worker thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. Good luck.
Well, we'll see what happens on Election Day for that. From the Blaze, Biden admin rejects Texas request for federal reimbursement for the cost of responding to the border crisis.
Yeah.
I didn't have much to say to that because we all knew what was going to happen with that.
Dude, I've too much to say on immigration. It's just like, so I mean, I don't know how. Well, taxes are BS, but this immigration thing we're doing is suicide. I mean, that's the one that, I mean, like, I'm known to pop off for 20, 30 minutes on immigration just because it's crazy. It's literal suicide what they're doing, and people keep falling for it. So as long as people keep falling for it for like the humanitarian, nice guy scam, then it's going to keep happening. The more that we're just like, anyone can be American and money doesn't matter and we're just helping people get a better life and they deserve to be over here because anyone can participate in this at all. The more we go towards that, the country is going to end all the sooner.
Yeah. Well, I think we all knew that on top of all that, I think we all knew that if Abbott came out and said, okay, we want money for doing your job, the Biden admin was going to say, go and F yourself.
Yeah, no. Yeah, they're going to oppose anything that is that other way. I mean, I don't know, dude. I think it's time for like drastic measures at the border. Maybe that's all I'll say.
Speaking of Texas, a mother and a boyfriend are released after the 9-year-old found dead. Kids were abandoned in a Texas apartment. Did you hear about this one?
No. Oh, what?
A neighbor said she complained for months about a terrible smell coming from an apartment where a child was found dead in Harris County, Texas, but claims nothing was done. The woman spoke to our sister station, ABC 13, a day before the gruesome discovery was made on Sunday afternoon. According to Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, investigators responded to an apartment complex after they received a call from a 15-year-old claiming that his 9-year-old brother had been dead for a year in the apartment he shared with his siblings. The teenager also told 911 that his parents had not lived in the apartment with him and his two siblings, aged 10 to 7, for several months. When deputies arrived, they found skeletal remains consistent with what the teenage boy told dispatchers. The children showed signs of malnourishment and were taken to a hospital to be treated.
It's
They
like a horror
live.
movie, man.
They lived
This
in
is
the
like a
apartment.
Halloween.
They lived in an apartment with their dead brother rotting for a year.
It's brutal, dude. I mean, brutal.
In
Like,
the open, too. Like, they didn't even hide it in a closet. In the open. I can't believe this one didn't cross your radar.
this is my first. I didn't even look over our outline that much. I'm just like looking at it right now. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty awful, man. Is there
Well, they
one?
apparently found the mother, so
There's fireworks going on outside.
nice.
Yeah.
Muzzle tough.
So they don't even get in trouble. Like the mother and boyfriend released.
I'm guessing they're out on bail right now.
Oh, okay.
All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Taiwan president confirms U.S. troops are training soldiers on the island.
Hmm.
So, well, I don't know if this goes against the Treaty of 1979 or not, but it sounds like Taiwan's preparing for some fun stuff.
Yeah, true. I mean, I don't know. I don't, with the Taiwan stuff, it's a little like I think there's a lot of game of chicken going on with this stuff. Like I really don't view like there's so many things that can happen. I mean, like I don't know. I guess the beginning of 2020, everyone was like damn sure we were going to go to war with Iran.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the problems are here. Like that
Yeah.
sucks. We signed these treaties and stuff, but people that are all like like boomer conservatives that are all just like it's China while like supporting degeneracy at home. I don't know, man. It's like
Yeah. Well, that's
but
going
it's
to be the theater
interesting.
to watch because that's going to be the one I think that brings us into another big war in that same region. We left
That's 100.
Afghanistan, so now we get to go to.
Yeah, I mean, 100% sure that you're definitely right. Whenever the next conflict is going to be at, it's going to be like in the South China Sea, like
Yep.
that whole area. That's the next hotspot. I mean, yeah, it might be in 10 years though. I just don't know.
One here to maybe trip some of your religious hatred
We're
of the
covering this
presidency.
tomorrow.
President
Yeah,
Biden says the Pope told him to keep taking communion and called him a good Catholic.
that's pretty bad, man. I mean, he's pro-choice.
Yeah,
It
he
wasn't
is.
always like the wasn't always Catholics are supposed to have like 4 issues or something like that, and abortion was one of them. But
Is he
yeah, man, we're
pro-choice or
covered.
is he full pro-abort at this point?
I don't know, man. I think if you're pro-choice, you are pro-abortion.
That's fair.
It's literally what it means. It's like because it's like there's not pro-life and pro-choice. There's anti and pro-abortion. It's like an either or thing. So I don't know. I don't think he's as crazy as like the De Blasio New York types that like lit up the building, pink or whatever. But I don't know. It's pretty black pilling. I mean, the yeah, that's like stunning to hear from a pope. Because
Yeah.
there have been several Catholic priests that have said they would deny him communion, as they would with anyone that supports abortion. But yeah, I mean, the Vatican thing's crazy. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow on my show. Like, I don't know what to say because I'm not anti-Catholic, and I've even entertained the ideas of becoming Catholic in my life.
Hmm.
But it's just a transhuman progressive globalist mess. And I don't like mean any disrespect to my Catholic friends. I mean, I have Catholic listeners, but it's like there's some weird stuff where he's like, supporting other religions and supporting leaders that support abortion and all kinds of stuff. And it's like I don't know what to say. And that's
Well,
bad. I mean, it's just he's not a good leader. He's bad.
well, I know that it seems that Biden was so surprised that he was called a good Catholic that he apparently shit himself.
Yeah. Do you think that actually happened?
No, I think that was just them joking around in the Vatican for it. But I mean, he's old and senile, so
Yeah.
it's believable.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have to. I don't. I'm not a poop truther. Yeah. I don't think he should. Maybe he did, but we'll talk about it. I
Um,
don't know. Like, yeah, it's just like random reports. So who knows?
One to strip your conspiracy theory trigger. Billionaire Soros and Hoffman backing new effort to battle disinformation.
Yeah.
George Soros
Of
and Reid
course.
Hoffman are backing a new media effort to combat misinformation. The effort, Good Information Incorporated, is intended to be a public benefit corporation committed to restoring social trust and strengthening democracy by increasing the flow of accurate information, it said in a statement on Tuesday.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, like this is just not to, I mean, go back to China for a second, but like one of the reasons that maybe and I'm tying this into the thing that you just brought up. One of the reasons is I'm not as anti-China as other people. Like I see them as a threat, but they also do these like really based things. Like I don't know if you heard about them saying that like sissy boys on TV weren't allowed anymore.
Yeah, we covered
Um,
that.
yeah, and this is one they just declared Soros an economic terrorist officially. Like I'm like that's based, dude. I mean that is based. That's what we should do. That's what Trump should have done. And like it's actually they said like an ideological terrorist or something like that, or like a some sort of thing like that. I'm like that's incredibly based, and they have a sense of their people. So I don't know. Of course, there's many groups out there, you know what I mean, that do things like run internet censorship and certain tribes, and he's
Control the
he's
weather
one of,
and
yeah, I don't know, yeah, I mean, so I don't know, like of course that's what they do. That's what it's not all Jewish people either. It's but just like their globalist grabblers are afoot trying to send like you know deplatform people, set up foundations and set up funds to label people terrorists. And like I'm one of those people that they want to call a terrorist. So screw them.
if you ever want to see how my other friends think about censorship and globalism, just take a trip through the Articles Worth Investigating tab over on my Discord one day and see what Midget B uses as his stamp of approval on things.
Dude, Midget B is based. This guy is based. Midget is based, dude. I agree with this dude on like almost everything. I don't think he's a Christian.
Let's talk about
But like,
Smallface. Got some audio and video
Okay.
for you.
Fascism.
All right.
This is tyranny. When do we get to use the guns? No, and I'm not. That's not a joke. I'm not saying it like that. I mean, literally, where's the line? How many elections are they going to steal before we kill these people?
So no, no, hold on. No, stop. Hold on. Now I'm going to denounce that. I'm going to tell you why. Because you're playing into all their plans, and they're trying to make you do this.
Fascism.
Real or fake?
What do you mean real? Like, do you mean planted by Kirk or authentic person?
Authentic person? I don't know if it was planted by Kirk. I want to say maybe
No, I
planted
definitely
by
don't
the
think
FBI.
that. No. Yeah, no, I don't think that's a real person. I think that's a fed or a plant or a troll or a person, something. I don't know. That got fed glowy vibes all over that. Yeah. When do we get to kill them? It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's never gone down like that ever. Even the times that it did, like the revolution didn't go down like that. Didn't go down like we're just killing the British now. There was a whole lead up to it. There was a whole like Lexington and Concord. The revolutionaries got chased and then attacked, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, dude. It's never gone. These people are such either LARPers or whatever. I have a real big axe to grind with the pro-violence crowd right now. I talk about it almost every show, but it's not the
Richard
right call.
Epps. Epps?
Yeah, just like was that his name? Ray Epps.
Ray Epps. I'm sorry. You're right.
Ray Epps. Yeah. I just it's not well. I don't mean people like that. I mean I certainly do have an axe to grind with people like feds and stuff. But I mean people that like watch the show and not necessarily mine, but people on Twitter and stuff like that. It's like
I get it.
do it or don't, but don't drag me into it. And like, I just disagree that it's going to work because, for all kinds of reasons, on moral grounds, spiritual grounds, pragmatic grounds, like I think it's just the boogaloo's a LARP.
All right, we've got just a couple more here, and then we'll get into the main topics. From the Daily Mail, another thing that probably trips your trigger off of this. Lesbians feel pressured into having sex with trans women over fears of being branded transphobic, while those who refuse face death threats, claim activists. I don't even know to go into this article because all the information is right there in the headline. It is exactly what you think it is, just from reading that paragraph.
Yeah, this is like when
dudes become trans in jail to be able to rape women. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, like, you know what I mean? Like, that this goes down all the time. And like, this is like so many of the murders, dude. There's a lot of the internet autists on 4chan have really done their part, like looking up all the time, like all their, not all, because there's a lot of them, but they say this person was murdered, this trans person was murdered. And a lot of the times it's them like getting into the bedroom and then like there's a dick there, so I don't know, man. I'm not saying murder is murder. Like, that's hot take. We should prosecute murder.
Yeah.
Like I'm anti-slavery, anti-murder, anti-theft, and these things should be prosecuted. But it's just their narrative doesn't is fake. Like, trans is fake. They're liars. It's nothing is what they seem. They claim victim points, and like, you ever met a person that like exaggerates the details in their favor like all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what they do, is like this mass collective victim thing, and it just becomes really old and annoying.
All right, and the last one. Speaking of things that are fake, the UN Climate Summit got an interesting speaker today who said, "Let's all be real." Let's listen to what that sounded like.
Man. Wow. Oh, I didn't see this. Okay, sorry.
You okay? You need a minute? Cool. Okay. Listen up, people. I know a thing or two about extinction. And let me tell you, and you'd kind of think this would be obvious, going extinct is a bad thing. And driving yourselves extinct? In 70 million years, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. At least we had an asteroid. What's your excuse? You're headed for a climate disaster, and yet every year governments spend hundreds of billions of public funds on fossil fuel subsidies.
Kill me now.
Imagine if we had spent hundreds of billions per year subsidizing giant meteors. That's what you're doing right now. Think of all the other things you could do with that money. Around the world, people are living in poverty. Don't you think helping them would make more sense than, I don't know, paying for the demise of your entire species? Let me be real for a second. You gotta...
Did you catch the irony in that line right there?
Which line?
Let me be real for a second.
Yeah, they're just wizards, man. It's like, and they're openly mocking the conspiracy crowd, with the lizard people thing. People are asking, MK Ultra in the chat says more fake, dinosaurs or climate change. I said climate change. Climate change is so fake, dude. It's like faker than this lizard right here. But yeah, I mean, dude, these people are pathetic. I mean, it's not unfunny. You know what I mean? It's cringe because like what they're talking about, but I like to see anybody, no matter the side, acknowledging how bizarre things are. Like lizard people is as much an option as anything else these days. So I don't give it an F, but they're just not funny people.
All right, we got to get into the main stuff here, but before we do that, we got to take a chat break.
Oh yeah.
Ignoramus Media is here. Yamafago says Leighton gay. Yeah, that was due to the blue. Back the blue. Steven's mic is super low and kind of choppy. Quest Fanning is here. Chilaga is here. Chilaga says, good work in Kenosha. I was watching the replay. Nice escape from those dudes earlier. Yeah, I had a couple dudes at the courthouse come up to me and say, hey man, you look like you're reporting. Hey, I want to know what do you feel about this? I'm like, dude, I'm a reporter. I can't do this. We're just doing the facts. We're doing this all here, and I'm not going to do this on camera. We're not doing opinion right now. It said, no, I want to talk to you off camera then.
Who was this?
Just some random black dude.
Was he recording too?
No, he was just down there smoking a cigarette.
Oh. Want me to do these chats? I can do it.
No, I got it. MK Ultra says, Legends, Life to the Max is here. EMFAGO says, back the blue against a cliff. Well, you'll have plenty of opportunity because they're getting a $5,000 bonus for moving to Florida. Life to the Max says, awesome spacey song. Might be wrong says, I wonder if the world will ever hear the MBW music written and performed by Steven. Is that going to be a thing?
Yeah, I made a song for him, but he abandoned his channel or whatever. He went, I don't know. Kind of sussy, that might be wrong, fella.
Maybe we can get a new backing track for Gaylords. Might be wrong says she'll let me be a feature on it. Life to the Max says, I dreamt last night Shapiro was playing violin and berating leftists simultaneously. Let's see. Might be wrong says, somebody emailed me. Faints.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life to the Max says, hacky sacky. Might be wrong says, make duels great again. The Breakdown with Birkenhoff is here. Life to the Max says, maybe lawyers tell them to milk it. Might be wrong made fun of me for the social contract. Look, I'm just saying, if you pay money for something, you should get a service back.
Yeah, I mean, social contract's faker than climate change, bro.
Yeah. But if you pay for it, that's my position as far as why that's the thing. Is if you paid for it, you should get a service back in return. If you used your fake money and paid for it. Let's see. Anyone think it's weird that Steven is... What's that?
This whole should thing. A lot of things should happen.
Anyone here think it's weird that Steven is here? We're all usually here without him. Yeah, you should pop in on the chat and say hi to all your friends in the morning.
Hi.
Arbolt was here, but he has to take off again. Katie Zed says that guy was a plant. Ron Helton says they were given fair warning to stop stepping on the snake before they took up arms. Ron is running to the store, so he'll have to go take off. Life to the Max says, wait, this lesbians thing is a real article. Yes, it is. And Daily Mail is green check verified, too, so.
Do you know what gay for the stay means?
No, I don't.
It means when someone becomes gay just for when they're in prison. Gay for the stay.
Nice.
That's real. That's real. Bunch of booty warriors.
Let's see. MK says, more fake dinosaurs or climate change. I just found out that MK doesn't live too far from here, by the way.
Word. Ignorant meetup. I mean, sorry, Edhead meetup. Yeah. calling it my fault. No. This is fake. You can tell from the music, says Katie said. It's funny.
Lift to the Max says, but I've met that dinosaur. He's a nice guy. Breakdown says, I rolled my eyes at the guys that asked you at the courthouse. Yeah. All right. That's what we have here for the chat. We got to get into main topics here. And I want to start by talking about... What did we have on the top of the show? I don't even know anymore. It's been a wild day for me. I want to talk about Loudoun County for just a bit here, because that has been... that's been based as shit ever since they found out that they were covering up. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that the emails have been leaked. They got leaked out to Fox News. As far as I can tell, they are real. Once again, can't confirm, wasn't in there on The Office, can't confirm any of that. But as far as I can tell, they were real, and they show, and nobody tried to deny it, that the school board actually knew about the fact that the sexual assault was going on, and they were actively trying to keep it under wraps at this point. Which there would be some reason to do that. It did involve a minor, and that's not... you can't release minor names or anything else like that. And essentially, when the father came in, and his name was released out there, that would be essentially the same as releasing the name of the minor in the situation. So there is some validity to what happened there, but it's still shitty and fucking shady. What have you seen on this so far? I'm going to pull up a couple videos here, quick.
Well, I haven't seen much at all about this particular case, but I have been following Loudoun County since mid 2020, because that's where it's like the most based county in Northern Virginia, and Northern Virginia is extremely blue now. I mean, the whole reason that the Virginia is blue is because of Northern Virginia, and that goes up to a bigger point of the only reason anything's blue is because of the cities.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been watching their COVID stuff. I haven't really looked at this case that much, but I know there's a lot of good people in Loudoun County. They certainly seem like they're willing to do things like protest and stuff. So, I'm also not a big fan of public school. I think that's a scam as well. So it's like I would like to see the based people win, and I don't know. I back criminal charges for most of, regardless of the sexual assault case. I would back criminal charges for any school board that did any COVID stuff. Any of these people in power that did this COVID stuff, I want them to be criminally charged. So that goes for the school board at Loudoun County.
I do have a question for you here, because you know the geography better of the area.
Yep.
When we went to Florida, did we go through Loudoun County, or did we miss that? I couldn't quite tell from the map. I know we went across the Francis Scott Key Bridge.
I don't know if we did. We probably just missed it. We probably went south a little sooner than that. When you asked me this question about geography, I swear I thought you were gonna say, where's Loudoun County in the Fallout map?
No, I can actually kind of figure that out. I'm not gonna lie. Because I looked at some of the map here, but I couldn't remember just on the geography of where we had driven if we were there and missed it.
Yeah. I think if we did, we went through it briefly, but that's not really due south of where I live.
Okay. But yeah, that's so I've never been to Loudoun County. You probably have at some point here.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm a little surprised it's as based as you say it is.
Dude, there's cool people everywhere, man. I mean, it's just that I think that the right wing has been either a multi-level thing where their morale has been down. They've been taught not to fight. They've compromised their values. Something like that happened in the right wing, where these good people are everywhere. It's just they are used to not standing up, and that's got to change. But there's Northern Virginia only became blue within the last 10, 15 years.
And we looked at the map over on Contemporary, and with it touching the diamond, because we looked at what it looks like over there. Actually, I thought it would be a lot bluer than it was, or that you say it is. Touching that diamond of filth over there.
Yeah, it's part of it
Maryland
now.
and Virginia.
People commute in from an hour or more out. So it's all part of the DMV now. It's depressing, but it is what it is.
The DMV, the demilitarized. I don't know. I don't know what the V would stand for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been interesting here. Now, I remember there being a walkout at my school because of something. I've told you about this a little bit off mic, but I don't want to go too far into it at this point. But there was a walkout for this, and I mean, usually when you see a walkout and the liberal students in a public high school, it's usually for something that's a super left-wing cause. But these guys are out there, and let's get some video up here to watch this here. They're protesting the fact that Loudoun County protects rapists. That was the chant, and they need to work on their chants. Maybe you should go up to Loudoun County and help them out. You're a music teacher.
Yeah.
But let's have a listen to what that sounded like. I mean, it doesn't quite have the flow as "hey, hey, ho, ho." Person we don't like has got to go, but
or I can't read. I can't read. What? Okay, so what happened? What are the actual facts about what happened?
Well, the emails have come out and confirmed that they knew about what had happened here. A girl, the daughter of the guy who got arrested from Loudoun County, and I'm not going to name the name because she is a minor,
Yeah.
but the girl went in. She has consensually gone into the bathroom of that school to have sex with this particular boy numerous times. But in this instance, she just went in there to go and talk. She said she wasn't feeling it, and allegedly, and I guess there was enough evidence to say that yes, this actually happened in court because he is the juvenile version of convicted, which I can't think of the term for it right now. He is convicted of this. He threw her to the ground and sodomized her in the girl's bathroom.
Holy
And he
shit.
was a transgendered student, so he was in there in a skirt on top of it.
Dude, this is dark times, man. It's like the tranny thing just makes it so like diabolical.
Yeah, that
Like,
I can see.
I'm used to the old fashioned rape. Yeah. That's dark times, man.
Did you know that McAuliffe's law firm is actually linked in fighting against the
No.
Virginia student?
But I believe it, man. They're all linked. They're all got someone in a firm somewhere. Yeah, dude. It's all linked, especially in the DMV.
The Daily Small Hat had an exclusive of this here. McAuliffe. Oh, did I say that out loud?
I love that. That's hilarious. Daily Small Hat.
McAuliffe linked law firm fighting Virginia student who said she was gang raped. The law firm that employed Virginia gubernatorial candidate Terry McAuliffe is being paid handsomely to fight victims of alleged sexual abuse in schools on behalf of the school system that the girls say failed to protect them. In one case, the Hunton Andrews Kurth law firm, where McAuliffe served as a senior advisor from 2019 until recently, is battling a young woman who says that she was repeatedly raped on her Fairfax County Middle School campus as a 12-year-old, and she was slashed with a knife, burned with a lighter, anally penetrated, and gang raped. So I do take that back. This one is separate from the case that we were just talking about.
Yeah, this is not the same case. Okay. Dude, what in the shit? Oh,
and I'm sure he's running up to run damage control on that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I believe it's linked. Yeah, it's gross. You know, I don't know my end solution is like get rid of public school, make everything like neighborhood schools. Yes, but like that's not the world we live in. So I don't know. It's just a mess, and school's a mess, dude. It's just an absolute mess.
Well, and one of the things too is, I mean, even the Washington Post got into this, and they were trying to smear the name of the girl who went in and was convicted, so we can say tried and convicted by the courts, but was raped by the boy. They were trying to smear her name in an article that I had linked in here talking about that there. And the headline is the fact that she went in there multiple times to have consensual sex with the kid, which shouldn't matter. As long as she said no this time, that is rape, that's sexual assault. So especially with a minor, it involved a minor the other direction too, but
yeah, it's weird when they're both minors, yo. It's shit is weird, dude. Our system is butt. Like we don't handle shit the right way, and it's like it's hard to envision what the right way would be in the system. Like it's very, very weird, man.
Well, I mean that's what we're seeing, and I know that this is dragging down on the McAuliffe race too, on the Youngkin race, because it's between this as comments that parents shouldn't have any say in their kids' education or anything else like that. This has got to be weighing hard on him. There's no way that it's not at this point. And even I archived the poll from when the Fox News one. Did you see where the Fox News poll dropped and Youngkin was up by 8 points?
Yeah. It happened so quick, man. I mean, polls are kind of weird. Like, I don't think they're I don't know. Sometimes
I don't either.
It's not that they're not trustworthy. It's not that they're not even accurate. It's that they ask like 2,000 people and then they call that they can say that it's like of Virginians when that's not of Virginians. It's called 2,000 people in like with landlines. Like if you go into the methodology, it's just a bunch of crap. So I hope he wins. I don't think he's going to. I think McAuliffe's going to win. I think
you think it's going to be Hong Kong or?
I think, of course. I think there's Hong Kong in every election now. I think there might have been for a very long time.
Except for
But yeah,
2020, because nothing bad happened there. Hong Kong.
yeah, yeah.
Most popular president in history, Hong Kong.
There's so much Hong Kong. So yeah, I just think they can do what they want. They can do whatever they want because they get away with everything. If you can get away with everything, you'll try anything. And here we are. Like I think there was cheating in the Newsom election. Yeah, I mean but the implication, the weird part is like how long has it gone on? And I think the answer is like a very long time.
Well, I've got the poll up here right now. I'm actually looking at here. So the more accurate number is still that I would call them in a dead heat, with Youngkin slightly ahead with the Fox News. And this is archived. So this is from Friday when I was dressed as another mythical YouTube character. Did you see that, by the way? My Halloween costume?
Razor Fist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
They never told me that once I took the Halloween costume off, my beard wasn't going to come back. And now I feel cheated.
Bad, man. Yeah.
I thought it would just instantly snap into place again as soon as I took the leather jacket off.
Man. That'd be nice if that were the case.
It was a lot of fun. I had fun with that. But yeah, looking back at this though, Youngkin is up by 0.4% in this particular poll. But this is, I mean, that's within fightable territory. But the other side of that is this was supposed to be an election that McAuliffe was supposed to win handily. This was never supposed to be this tight.
Yeah, we love to see it. It just matters who wins. And all of that, it's like what matters is who actually gets in. That's why 2020 was like so important, in a bad way. Because it just matters who gets in, because what's going to happen is McAuliffe wins, even if it's by an ass hair, he's going to implement that agenda. And if the other guy wins, he's probably going to slowly implement that agenda. Like he's going to, like a conservative that's like mainstream is just going to be a progressive that's like a little bit slower. So, I would like that. I'm not much of a collapsitarian, although it sounds entertaining.
Well, interestingly enough, off this one too, and I did make sure, first off, I want to play this little video clip from Mr. Biden's, shut up, I'm still introducing it, Mr. Biden's appearance in Virginia, because he got to have an appearance off of this, and he got interrupted in the middle of his speech. Let's listen to what that sounded like. I know it's hard to hear because it's coming through his microphones, but...
That's all right. Let him go. Let him go. That's okay. That's all right.
Oh, I can hear it.
Why don't you hang out and talk to me after this is over, okay?
I'll smell you, man.
Look. Thank you. That's right. This is not a Trump rally. We let him holler. I also like to thank members of the congressional delegation.
So yes, he got off track and sidetracked off the fact that people were out in the crowd screaming, "We love Trump. We love Trump." Good. The interesting part of the McAuliffe race, and we'll probably wrap on Virginia off of this one here, seemed to happen over the weekend outside of Guadalajara, which is that actually a city in Virginia? I didn't realize that.
I think so, right? I think so.
Yeah. Outside of a Guadalajara stop here, in which several members of a tiki torch-bearing gang decided to show up and stand outside of Glenn Youngkin's bus to say that they supported Youngkin, and this is the policies that they support. Except not all was as it seemed, and now the Lincoln Project has taken credit for this, because, as we saw in pictures on both of our morning programs here, we knew who these people were. Starting with this one here, the financial director for Young Virginia Democrats has gone private after being exposed as a white supremacist.
Good, yes.
This is Camden Layton from VA Democrats at GMU, consultant, XLP Consulting, finance director at VAYD GMU Dems, he/him. My pronouns are better, fuck you. These tweets are protected, but he's got the little tip icon up there on the top, I noticed right away. So he'll take your Twitter tip. I'm guessing if he's got his pronouns in his bio, he also takes a little bit more than the tip, but that's another story for another time. And his Instagram is still public at the point of this going. What the fuck is this? Oh. I love the fact that Jim told me, oh, well, if you sign up for our texting program, then you'll only get like 2 texts a year, and I've got more than that in the last 24 hours. So they're spamming my phone with texts.
Who are these people, man? It's just like, this is their like young foot soldiers and shit. Like they're young, like true believers.
Well, and you mentioned too, on the autists over on 4chan who did their homework on this.
Yeah. No, man, this wasn't even found out by the A Squad over at 4chan. This was found out by like normie, like Republican blue checks on Twitter.
You don't think that the Republican blue checks got their information from 4chan off of this, who looked at this and started...
I don't know. This doesn't seem like that hard of a case, to be honest. This ain't no Shia LaBeouf, weather patterns to find a flag. I don't know. Maybe. But I wouldn't be surprised if this seems like an easy case.
Yeah. You are referring to the actual cannibal, Shia LaBeouf?
True, yes. True.
And the other one that came out almost immediately off of this was... Colleen Wachenfeld is, I guess, her name, shown out here in her full Tiki Torch glory. But then, and this was the thing with all of this, and I'll discuss this in just a second here, but there she is in the Macaulay van, and there she is out there in a crowd. So, I mean, you can look at her body build, face structure, and you can tell that's her. So, yeah, that one was a pretty easy one to figure out, too. But I noted on this second picture when we were looking at this, and I read the NBC 29 article, that the Lincoln Project said, and the Macaulay campaign both said, that these people that were out there had nothing to do with the Macaulay campaign. This is this girl, Colleen Wachenfeld, in the McAuliffe van. It is clearly the McAuliffe van. It says McAuliffe all fucking over it.
Oh. Dude, they can do what they want, man. They just lie. Like, there's no proof for shit. I mean, truth. There's no like truth in their world anymore. Like, there's no objectivity. So they can just say what they want, man. We're like it's just, it's. When is it going to stop? I don't know. Has it ever been like normal? I also don't know. Like, I haven't been paying attention. Like, I haven't been red pilled in this way for very long, and so I just haven't been. There's probably sneaky tricks like this in every election, right?
Probably.
Not on the Tiki Torch level, but, things are getting goofier, though, for sure.
Well, the more I see shit like this, the more I have to wonder if the Tiki Torch thing was also leftoids who came out here and,
it wasn't the same kind of thing, but it was an op, dude. Charlottesville was a total op.
Yeah, I have to, seeing something like this, I have to imagine that, the white supremacists and Richard Spencer, the most homosexual white supremacists in the world, all walked into here and some raging leftoids were standing there at the front of it. Oh, here's your Tiki Torch. It's complimentary. Make sure you light it up for the photo op.
Yeah, he's a train wreck. I mean, I'm not a Richard Spencer fan at all. I mean, because he is a liberal, dude. He's like a white identitarian liberal globalist. So there's nothing to like about this guy. And just the way he is. So I don't know, but yeah, there's all kinds of op type shit that happen around Charlottesville. It's just one to the next. And Charlottesville broke so many people, to the level where they still get triggered by Tiki torches. It's crazy. Crazy times.
All right. Let's check with some live chat here. We got to talk about the Rittenhouse stuff. Let's see. Where did we leave off? This is fake. You can tell from the music. Might be wrong, had to leave, but he's back. Might be wrong says they're not gay, it's just their hustle.
True.
Katie Z asked if we did a road trip. We did. We became Florida men, as you said, every time you hit the live stream. Might be wrong says the IG jammed on that road trip. MK Ultra says gross. This is why I went to private school, says Katie Z. The public schools in Chicago in the 90s were really dangerous. I can about imagine. I lived in the country in the 90s, so... MK says, can't grow that beard back enough, fast enough. Yeah, I thought it was just going to come back as soon as I took the leather jacket off and the aviators. I thought it would be one god fucking speed and I'd be back to full mountain man. But it didn't happen. Katie Z says it's funny they thought that they wouldn't be found out. Redditor says might be wrong for who sniffed this out. Katie Z says, didn't they know the right wings are misogynistic?
Damn right.
Life to the Max says, I keep hearing Macaulay Culkin. Katie Z says, he does have good taste in burgers.
True.
You practiced that in front of the mirror a bunch of times. You wanna take a shot at the PQ?
Well, I've had some good burgers in my time, and I like a melted Swiss and roasted mushrooms and caramelized onions on a burger. That is hot stuff. You can find that at a number of different places.
Does anybody believe that dude is straight? Seriously? Does he believe that?
He's got a wife, dude. He's got a wife and he lives in Montana. I don't know, but he doesn't seem straight. But
Life
he's got a wife.
Says, yeah. So does Aaron Rodgers. Life to the Max says controlled op, psyop, photo op. And Katie Z will get the last word at this particular segment and says roasted marshmallows. Let's talk Rittenhouse because that is going to be a crazy one as we move on here. So jury selection started today on the Rittenhouse trial. I have not seen any of the coverage here, and I know who all was there because I saw their vans, but I can't get a press pass in the courthouse because I'm not WISN 12. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get to go in and see any of what was going on there, but I know that Court TV was there. They were hooked up to another power generator van. WISN was there. There were a number of other people there. I mean, you can get that in a number of different places. A few other people. And, of course, I got confronted out on the street of, well, I need to know where you stand. I'm like, no, we're not doing this. We're not having this conversation out here because I'm not about to get stabbed today.
Dude was like trying to get some content or something like that.
He was trying to get some conflict, I think.
Yeah, was he? Okay, yeah.
He wanted to come out here and tell me why I was wrong.
So what did they actually do today? It was just like administrative stuff?
Administrative stuff, and they started interviewing potential jurors to see who they could get in, just like they did for 2 days in the Chauvin trial. A guy comes in, they ask about what the person is, the background, what they believe, what they don't believe. Something I'm going to be going through in 2 fucking weeks. After 20 years, they finally fucking popped me.
What do you mean?
I have jury duty in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Oh, I had it like 4 years ago or something like that. Wow.
It took them 20 years. I'll be 38.
So easy to get out of it. It's so easy to get out of it.
Are you saying that there's a nullification process?
That's not what nullification is.
No, I know, but I'm sure if they hear that word, that they'll be okay. You're dismissed,
bro. I was like, okay. So when I did it, they're like, they give you a card, like a 3x5 card, and they're like number it 1 through 30 or something like that, and answer all the questions. They're all like yes or no questions, and like within the first 5, I was like, bro, all I got to do is just be honest, and I was like, all I got to do is just be honest, and there's no way in hell anyone would want me on a jury.
Yeah.
If you're any sort of like philosophical mind or like intellectually honest, you're like just be honest, and they'll just be like, this guy is like not the type of sheep that you want on a jury. It was interesting though. It was like drug smuggling through the postal service though. So like for a second I wanted to be on it just to see what was up, but I was like, nah, man, I got shit to do.
I would think almost that you'd be looking for a new supply at that time in your life.
No, hell no.
Well, I know you've probably cleaned up since then, but you said it was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I'm just saying through the postal service, like that's ass. That's like I can get like federal charges, like get federal trafficking charges. Like I'm straight.
Well, one of the things that went on with this too, as we go back into this, and just on the jury duty thing too, we were talking about this in a Discord call when I was head down to Kenosha, and it was Seawall and Saint, and I said, if I do wind up on the jury and it's any case other than hurting people or taking their stuff, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go on there. I'm just going to say not guilty. If it's a fucking drug possession charge, not guilty. Sure. I don't care. Yeah. Oh, the evidence shows camera that shows him have it. Oh, I don't care. Not guilty.
No. I wonder if you do, if you even need to reply, like give a reason for why you say no. You don't, right? You can just say no or yes. MK Ultra asked, "What's an example of the questions?" Dude, it'd be like shit. Like, do you think race is a factor in courts coming to a decision? Just off the top of my head, I'm not sure if that, but it was just stuff like that. Do you believe that you could be impartial no matter what the facts were? And I'm like, no. Like, of course I couldn't be impartial no matter what. That the second one I said is a little closer. It's like, do you believe that laws are legitimate no matter what they are? Like something like that. And especially at the time, I was a little more like ANCAP and not as Christian. So I was like, no, none of this is legitimate. Like,
Going back to the Rittenhouse trial, though, so a few things developed over this week, including a few that I think broke our friends over on the left, like legitimately fucking broke them here. I want to just read briefly from.
oh, this was awesome. Yeah.
I want to read from our friends over here at NPR for just a second because they were one of the most outraged people by this here. The prosecutors cannot kill those shot by Rittenhouse victims. But looters is okay. This is from NPR, man. Of course.
This is so based.
The
judge said this. I'm like, dude, that is so tight.
There are other things to think about with this, though, and this is not as big of a deal as you would think that this is. This is actually pretty standard practice, especially in a case where self-defense is most likely to be used, because that does taint the jury. If you come out and say, okay, well, these people are automatically victims, that taints the jury. That is a potential taint to the jury. Absolutely is. Now, they can say, the prosecution can say alleged victims.
Yeah.
But the other side of the coin with that is the defense is allowed to call the other people rioters and looters. But there was a caveat in that the NPR didn't touch on, or any other of the other outraged big left-wing outlets. They didn't touch on the caveat that went along with that. Did you see the caveat in this at all?
No.
They are strongly discouraged from using the terms rioters and looters during the trial, but can use them only in their closing arguments.
What? Only in their closing arguments?
Because at that point, all the evidence has been laid out, and it's established that that's what they were doing, is rioting and looting. But during the presentation of evidence, no, they're not supposed to. They are allowed to do it, but they're strongly discouraged of doing it because it's also prejudicing a jury.
So they can do it. Like that's all that matters in this. Like, what do you mean? What is strenuously discouraged from saying it? I mean, if it's going to be,
I've got a feeling that I've got a feeling that if the prosecution objects, then it will be sustained because they're strongly discouraged from doing it.
The judge, Katie Zed, says the judge ruled that they can't even call them alleged victims.
I did not see that second ruling.
Yeah, she said she watched the whole thing today, so I'm just kind of, Katie is kind of one of my sources for the documents of like watching the whole video because she likes like the court stuff.
Well, yeah, the last I knew before today, then, and obviously because I was at the ground, I didn't see any of the court stuff for today. The last I knew, they could still say alleged victims, but it was at that point because. And I actually did some on-the-ground stuff on that, and I went down to the site and showed everybody what was happening there. If they'd have put, and I think he's overcharged too. If they'd have put man 3 for Huber on the table, they might have been able to get away with getting him prosecuted for man 3. For Huber. Only Huber. Not the other two. Because that was a turnaround, and I showed where Rittenhouse was facing, where the shot rang out from, and it was a shot in the air. I saw the video. It was a shot straight in the air. And then Rittenhouse turned around and shot in a defensive position, killed somebody without directly being aggressed on. That is man 3. But that's not on the table. They're not charging him with that.
What do you think is gonna happen in the end? What's your prediction?
I think that they're going to honk a BLM member into the jury, and as soon as they get into the room to deliberate, he's going to say, "Look, I seen all your faces. I know where you all live. Now you're going to give me the verdict I want, or there's going to be trouble for you."
You think that? You think that's what's going to go down?
I think that's what happened in the Chauvin trial.
Really? I don't think that. I think that they don't need someone like that. I think that they don't need one person to, like, the culture is just like, they don't need to like plan it. I think that your populace is just, it is just like demoralized and has bought into this narrative. Yeah, I don't know though. You think it's like one person that poisons it? Hung jury says might be wrong. I don't know.
I could see that too. In Kenosha, I could see that. And keep in mind that these are people who are going to be pulled from Kenosha County, which they've been propagandized by nonstop reporting on this.
Yeah.
Like, I talked to my mostly conservative former landlords. I actually went down there and talked to them when I went down there over the summer. I talked to them about this, and they're to the understanding that this kid was running up and down, walking up and down the roads, finger in the trigger guard, shooting
Yeah.
randomly at people. In Kenosha, they're on to that understanding.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, the media is such an issue, dude.
Yeah.
It is a big issue, and people believing it. It's gotten past the point. I talk about this on my show all the time. It's gotten past the point where you can even give the media and the government all the blame, because it's like people keep falling for it. Like, it's insane. It's generations in the making.
One of the things that I think is going to make or break this case is whether or not they're sequestered.
Mm.
Because
No
that was one of the
TV.
things that we saw out of the Chauvin trial. And in addition to having a BLM guy infiltrate the jury pool, which was a nice touch, by the way. Nice job, globalists. We'll use that word because that's Susan friendly. Nice job, globalists, on getting that one to go. But these people also, because of COVID, they couldn't be sequestered. They were walking back and forth through the George Floyd Autonomous Zone every day, in and out of the courthouse, going through that, seeing the riots, seeing, okay, this is what could happen to your home. If you don't do what we tell you to, this could happen to your home. There was a level of that. I know that was a part of what happened with the Chauvin decision.
Oh yeah, my point. I'm actually agree. I agree with you on that. It's just that my point is that you don't need. I don't think you need one person to like even be close to overt about it. It's just that like people, they're either scared or have a social stigma or a ideological stigma, that it's almost like the it doesn't need to be a centralized like conspiracy. People are just broken and they're scared, so they, it's like a wink and a nod, or I don't know, dude. But it's crazy that it had to be anonymous, and it was, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And I know that they, like I pointed out while I was down there too, that if this was like the Chauvin trial, and I was one of them said that this is probably going to be the naughty word that gets me taken off of YouTube, but the left only drags out BLM on election years. Have you ever noticed that? It's an odd numbered year.
It's also viruses, dude. There's always pandemics. There's pandemics and race shit like every election year.
But if this was 2022, I guarantee you there would have been an autonomous zone in the park in the middle of Kenosha.
Mm. Is it? How big is Kenosha? How many people?
It's about 100,000 people.
Okay, so it's not huge.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And I went down there and I showed the video. On the video, I showed where Rittenhouse was when he was cleaning the graffiti. Because I recognized the wall. I saw it. We went down there. We looked at that. We looked at the car lot, which is full again. I'm wondering if there's going to be protests at the end of this if they don't get their way.
Oh, for sure there will be. Oh yeah, if Rittenhouse walks, you're looking at some serious shit. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna walk, man. I think this dude's about to get convicted. It's sad because he's 17, right? Is he 18 now?
He is 18 now.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I got a bad feeling about it, but I have to fight back the cynical pills every single day. Like, ongoing fight.
I did notice something today, and I don't know what this means because I've never seen anything like this before. Somebody in the protest outside the courthouse had an American flag, but it was red, green, and black. Have you ever seen that before?
Red, green, and black.
Yes.
Like Rasta, like Jamaica Rasta colors?
Are those Jamaica Rasta colors? I don't know enough
Well, it
about that
depends on
culture.
is it
Apparently, Afro is what they're saying when I just
yeah,
Googled it
this is
now.
like this is the Pan-African. Yeah, it's the Pan-African flag. I know what you're talking about.
I've
seen
never
that.
seen anything before like that before today.
Dude, this is such subversive bullshit.
Yeah, somebody in the protest outside was carrying that flag, and somebody else was just carrying the red, black, and green striped flag.
Oh man, the cult it will continue for our whole lifetime, man.
All right. Yeah, let's catch a little bit of chat here. We're running up against the clock. I got a couple other things that I want to make sure that we get to today. So let's see what these guys are doing. I know I want to do Metaverse, and I know I want to do budget here. I don't know if we'll get to any of the COVID stuff or not, which is well.
Okay.
I'm glad we did the Southwest stuff and the Saki stuff at the beginning, because that was the important COVID stuff I wanted to cover.
Yeah. Let's skip COVID and go Metaverse and budget after that.
Yeah. Let's see what these guys are doing here. Oh, wow. There was a lot of stuff going on here. Might be wrong says she's a beard. Life to the Max says obligatory hand. At the end of the BQ, the burger question. That is some hot stuff. Katie Zed says she watched the whole thing. Some of the jury has the most ridiculous things to say to get out of jury duty. Yeah, I think all I need to do is go in and say, hey, I'm white and I read books. And I'll be out of jury duty. Might be wrong says Katie Zed will be our on the couch reporter. Apparently they did Ward Dire today. I don't know what that means.
Voir dire, that's jury. So that's jury questioning.
Okay, I've never heard that term, but okay, I do know what
Dang,
that is.
dude, jeez. I thought you were some kind of intellectual. Even I knew that term.
Might be wrong says they never select me. Life to the Max says rural jurors. We got the example of the question, so we took care of that one.
Yeah.
Might be wrong said there's no kids involved. I don't care about drugs. Yeah, I mean, if there was something about some guy dealing drugs in a case that I was supposed to try, I might just find him not guilty and then go find him after the trial. Like, hey, you hold him?
Dude, anyone that says holding is a Fed, though. Like, that word is like 1955. You holding my drugs, kid? Like,
I remember him from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yeah. It's like 80s. It's like an 80s. You holding?
Let's see. Might be wrong says, do you believe white women must be stopped? Katie Zed says today one of the questions was something like, do you think guns are scary? Do you think guns are scary?
No. Well, I mean, they can be, just like anything else, dude. It's like any other tool.
Katie Zed says this judge is based. Might be wrong says, I'll allow it, but you're on thin ice, Mr. Matlock. I remember Matlock from when I was a kid. Might be wrong says, I mean, if there's BLM there, ... A lot of dots. Like somebody might be triggered by dots.
Too many, if you ask me.
Apparently the juror seems pretty base too, so they will not be sequestered until deliberation. So they have to walk through the protests, apparently.
I agree with what might be wrong. Might be wrong says I do think the police chief should be charged for dereliction of duty or something like that. I do too. I mean, they failed these cities so bad, dude. They just let it happen. That's why I'm just like criminal charges, dude. Something. Not gonna happen though.
Well, and that's one of the big things that go along with this too, because these city commissioners they're appointed positions. They're not elected like a sheriff is. So they're not directly beholden to the people. Let's see.
Dude.
Might be wrong. We'll get last word off of this one. Says, oh, no, MK Ultra will get last word off this one. Might be wrong. Says, hey, bud, you got any dope? And MK Ultra says, ellipses are kind of gay.
I agree.
All right. Let's talk about the metaverse. And the first thing that I'm going to do with that is I'm going to go grab a video because, well, we need to go back and watch the video here because the Zuckerberg decided he was going to tell us all about how wonderful our lives are going to be because of the metaverse. And that's, I think, what we need to start with. I think that's
not a real. This guy's not a real person, dude. This guy is so. I mean, I can't believe how fake this guy gets every. His eyes get blacker. It's funny because he's been called data before. So this is literally metadata. Literally.
Has anybody actually been in the same room as Zuckerberg? Does he actually exist, or is he a computer program that gets trotted out on the screen?
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, this guy is like not a real person. If there's anyone that's a lizard person, it's him.
Let's listen.
So let's start by exploring what different kinds of metaverse experiences could feel like, starting with the most important experience of all, connecting with people. Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually, it has things that are only possible virtually, and it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear.
Dude.
All right, perfect.
Boy.
Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Mark. What's up, Mark?
Whoa, we're floating in space? So let's start by exploring what...
So, and you said you've never read Ready Player One. I think you should, just knowing that this exists. I think you should, because you'll get a better idea of the reference that a lot of people are making with the Oasis. I mean, what he's introduced here, if it works the exact same way that he's demonstrating in this video, this is the Oasis. This is the virtual world that everybody in the alternate dystopian timeline lives in, while they all live in RVs that are stacked on top of one each other in urban Ohio.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they're all transhuman. I don't know what to say other than just like don't partake. I mean, but I got a Facebook and stuff. I deleted it after I got doxxed, and it's like I don't know how much like pulling the plug will do anything about it. Like on one hand, you can't reverse the progress of technology or whatever, and what do you do about it? But it's just kind of, again, that's my theme of the last 6 months. It's just the common person. I mean, there's a common person out there that loves this stuff, that thinks like you're like their avatar talking to another person is like more connectivity, and it's just nothing transhuman is like closer to real connectivity. That's why I try to replicate the in-person thing on air, and because there's nothing like the in-person thing, and it's just the next 20 years are going to be crazy, man.
Well, I mean, going back to the book off of this, I mean, there were suits that for VR that let you experience and feel simulated touch on everything that you experienced in the Oasis universe. People were building businesses off of it. They were making, well, it had been reduced to a company credit at this point for Oasis because the currency was but by the time that the book took place.
Yeah, is it a long book?
Not really. I mean, it's
not
not like this one by any stretch of the imagination.
What is that?
Clancy's The Bear and the Dragon, which, I mean, it's a Clancy book, so it's a minimum 1,000 pages. But it's not like that one. It's definitely worth the read, especially with this happening. If this wasn't happening, I wouldn't recommend it. Because it is a little bit below our age range. But because this is happening and it mirrors what goes on with that so much, I would definitely go and take a look at what's going on there. If you get past all the 80s cringe, because the author and subsequently one of the main characters is an 80s aficionado. So there's all kinds of real life 80s references in there. All kinds of them. Going on with this, the other question that came on with this is the fact that people believe that this was a distraction to pull away from the Frances Haugen testimony. In fact, she just went off and testified again, I believe, in front of Europe this week.
Dude, this world is so fake. Everything's so fake, man. That's why it's like I kind of never subscribe to the single level distraction thing. Like that Francis thing, that lady is straight up like fed. Like I would not be surprised if that was David Chipman himself. Like
It kind of looks like him.
yeah, I know it looks like him. Yeah, like she's the whistleblower, and like she's just all of a sudden, exposing like right wingers and stuff. Like it's the world. We're just in such a gay and fake world. Like I can't believe that's still even around. That she's testifying in Europe. I mean, I'm like speechless by that. That's still around. That story is still around. Like, and people think it's a distraction from that. That thing's the distraction from like 5 other things. Like like she's a distraction. It's a gay op, dude. So anyway.
But that's what they're trying to come up with this because, well, first off, this PSA that they just did that we watched, that didn't come in overnight.
No,
that has been months and months in the making.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And we'll see what happens. I mean, it's just like I think it's going to be that by this time next year we're going to be calling this year normal. Like this is going to be like normal. It's going to get so much kookier, I think.
That's actually a little bit scary. I'm not going to lie, but my surprise stupidity is actually probably going to push that worldview for you as well. But
okay, I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after we talk about the budget stuff here. But now the Meta is going to change the company name, like Google's Alphabet. Mm-hmm. Google's company is not called Google; it's the parent company's Alphabet. So the Facebook app is going to stay the same. It's still going to look like an F. Your boomer parents are still going to be able to find it. But the parent company that sees over Instagram, that sees over WhatsApp, that sees over the metaverse and sees over Facebook, that's going to be called Meta at this point. And I wanted to, we talked about the memetics at the top of the show with the Let's Go Brandon thing, but there's another memetic that's coming up here that could possibly tank Zuckerberg for all the money that he's invested into this. And that is our friends on 4chan have told us that it is now time to change the name of, or change the meaning of Meta to make everything Trump again.
I support that. I support it, man. I mean, like Trump. Yeah, I like Trump. I know he's got his flaws. I'm well aware of them. I talk about them all the time. But like, if there's gonna be one guy, it's got to be Trump. And he understands meme culture better than any politician in history. And so good. I support that.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, it is coming out of 4chan. It is a grassroots meme. Well, that was one of the things I was thinking about when I realized the fact that, I mean, the left is afraid of memes, as we talked about with the Let's Go Brandon thing, is the fact that all this stuff, well, that's actually making fun of NBC for putting that out as the reporter. And if they would have ignored that and just not gone so fucking batshit over the Let's Go Brandon thing, that would have disappeared and died out by now. But it's just that they reacted so viscerally to this. And it's the same thing with the Meta. That's such a make everything Trump again for the leftoids, the boomer cons, the boomer libs, and everybody who's going to be on Facebook. That is such a toxic term. And Zuckerberg is already fighting against, trust me, I am not a right-wing person. Just trust me and give me your data.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of need to fight with cringe at this point. It is cringe. Let's Go Brandon is cringe. Make everything Trump again is cringe. But you need to for Facebook, I mean, the way the communication style on your standard Facebook person is insanely NPC. It's insane. It's even worse than Twitter. So maybe
this level NPC.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they all think they're real. I don't know. Man,
it's the same thing as these things can pop up grassroots too. What did the left try to do for meming? Remember Elizabeth Warren tried to make the meme team? Corporate processed memes coming through Elizabeth Warren's campaign?
Yeah, I mean they suck at it. They suck at anything like authentic and like warm. Yeah, it's better than even like Kamala. Kamala Harris is worse at the game than Elizabeth Warren even. Uh, Kamala Harris is just terrible at being. You hear her speech where she was like acting all black. Were you in the chat today for that?
No, I was probably on the road already at that
Bro,
point.
you gotta look up this video. Not, I mean, I guess it's covered on Contemporary, but look at this video of her like code switching to like a Virginia black mammy in this speech. It's so bad.
Link it out to me. Definitely.
Yeah, she's so white, dude. And like not though. She's like Star Trek Academy, material. Like they're like globalist, rootless, super corny, female empowerment, like ready to conquer the stars. It's like makes me want to hang myself, which I could, and for legal reasons, have to say I don't want to do. I mean, wait, no, I actually don't want to do it. That's like a triple negative. I do not have suicidal ideations at all.
With that, we're going to talk just a bit about the budget here before we head out of here, because the new reconciliation has dropped. So we'll use the Daily Small Hat again, just to talk about a bit about what's going on with this.
Buy my gold. Thank you.
Do-over. Biden debuts modified now $1.75 trillion spending plan following Dem fracture. So just to read briefly from here, President Biden debuted an updated version of his Build Back Better spending plan, this time scaled back from the $3.5 trillion human infrastructure plan proposed months ago, in hopes that a fractured Democratic Party can unite behind both this and the bipartisan fiscal infrastructure bill. The $1.75 trillion proposal focuses on care for families, addressing the climate crisis, expanding access to health care, lowering costs for the middle class, and tax reforms, CNN reported. The president on Thursday morning headed to Capitol Hill to pitch his framework to the House Democratic Caucus and will later deliver remarks from the White House to make his case to the American people. So this was from Thursday when this popped out. So this was right before he left the country to go shit himself in the Vatican. I think that was the purpose of his trip. Just the thing with meeting with the Pope, that was a side thing. He just wanted to shit himself.
He literally he shat out the bill. Like he ate the bill and shat it out. Yeah. That was the addendum, was this big, massive Biden dump that they take on like the 3,000th page or whatever.
Oh, it's just like the votes that showed up at the last minute. Massive dumps. Massive dumps.
Massive dumps. I know dumps, and I take the best dumps, frankly. It smells like Kofefi.
So this is basically a halved-out, pared-down version of the infrastructure bill that they've been trying to cram down our throats since January 21st.
Dude, this system is booty, dude. This system is so bad. Like, what do you think is going to actually happen with the debt? Do you think it's ever going to matter?
Oh, it'll matter when there's a Republican back in office.
No, I mean like actually matter. I don't mean matter for political spin. I mean like actually matter, where it's gonna where prices the society reflects the fact that we're like trillions in debt.
Well, there is going to come a day where somebody is going to get into the government and tell you that no, we're not going to raise the debt ceiling. And that whole thing that they try to scare us with every single time is going to come to a head at some point.
It has to.
And bonds are going to be worthless.
Yeah, it has to. One day it has to. It can't continue forever. So I've wanted that to be the case my whole life, basically.
The day that your savings bond is worthless is going to be a hell of a day for the U.S. economy. I can tell you that right off the bat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be rough.
We're going to see a world economy collapse and then possibly a string back up, but a collapse like you have never seen before in your life. And I've stocked up on popcorn because I'm fucking here for it.
Yeah, as long as the internet stays up and shit, dude, I feel like it's going to be entertaining. I mean, last year was entertaining. I mean, but I was actually out in the street a couple times. But when it gets really bad, I don't know how out in these streets I'm going to be. I might just be here.
Far, far away from everybody with chickens.
Yeah, but it just seems like there's this momentum of kicking the can down the road and barely like forming a government and then just doing it again over and over and then printing more money. And I want the government to shut down. Why not, dude? Like when they shut down, they don't even shut down. They shut down all these symbolic things, all this bullshit that no one even cares about. When I was in DC, it was a huge deal when the government shut down, but I would talk to people outside of DC, like good. They're all like good.
Yeah, I think I said good. Some of the things that are coming out of this, Abe Manchin has said that billionaires should pay a patriotic tax, and I said, fuck you. No, we're not doing that shit. But there are some things that are getting cut out of this, which actually makes me wonder if this will actually pass. I know that the Democrats have cut paid family and medical leave from the spending package, and that was like 12 weeks of paid vacation guaranteed by the government. 3 months of vacation.
Good. I'm glad it's not in there. Yeah, that's. I don't want this to pass. Yeah, I think it's like to me the best time is now. Like the best, it's like planting a tree or whatever. It's like when's the best time for the government to fail? It's like 20 years ago, but if not then right now.
Yeah.
Why would I want this to pass?
Well, and the thing that gets me on the family medical leave thing is, I mean, that was a negotiation between companies to get people to go work for them rather than the competitor. That's what vacation was. Okay, well, we've allotted enough budget out of us that we can pay you for a week of not being here. And you're good. You're fine. Or 2 weeks, or however many that we want to give you. I actually got 3 weeks from my job because they sniped me from another company. I never use them, but I got them.
You got them. I mean, yeah, and I just don't work. I mean, I'm not in the workforce, so, like, yeah, so I don't really, I don't really believe in things like retirement. And it's like, if you need time off that bad, it's, I don't know. Like, I just have very traditional, like, views on it. Like, if you're a guy, why should you even get time off, especially if you enjoy your job, or it's like not just fulfilling, but like, men are supposed to work, women are supposed to raise the kids. So, do you say it was family leave?
It is
or vacation time.
Let's see. Let's actually get the actual verbiage out of this from Super Cringe Fox News.
I looked at the campaign.
Shut up. Senate Democrats have dropped the paid family leave and medical leave proposals from the
3 months, dude. Fuck
yeah,
you.
12
sorry
weeks.
for swearing. Yeah, sorry for
5.
swearing. Yeah,
5.
I gotta do them right now. Oh, I did so many push-ups today. Oh, okay, screw you, Jagger. All right. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Yeah, it's like 3 months, dude. Screw you. Like, no, they're so entitled, man. That's for like Pete Butt stuff to pleasure himself for 3 months. Like, no.
And he's doing that around little kids too, by the way.
It's a child abuse, man. Gays should not be able to adopt people.
Yeah, from what I understand from that, because I mean, I know people that have tried to use medical leave too because I've worked in places where there was a union shop who tried to use medical leave to take a trip to Europe or something. There was actually an investigation for that. But I mean, sometimes you do need vacation too, because sometimes you just want to sit in the truck for 12 hours and listen to your friend play guitar on the way to Florida.
Sometimes you just got to do that. I'm just saying it shouldn't be government allowed, and it's just you should just take the hit, or just privatize. Yeah, there should be no government mandated leave or whatever we're talking about. It should just be private, up to the company.
It should be something to negotiate that you can, you find a better job that gives you more vacation time. Work from home option. Well, I don't really have a work from home option, but all right. That is coming out of this. And the other one that's coming out of this is it's leaving out Medicare negotiating drug prices, which I also say is good.
Mm-hmm.
Get the government out of it.
Yeah.
And also reform patent law so these companies like Pfizer and BioNTech that the left suddenly fucking loves.
What's your like Twitter length or 2 tweet length take on IP?
Intellectual property?
Yeah.
You should have a guaranteed a little bit of time to make money off of it, but it should not be as long as they have it. Because it's your idea, you should be able to make a little bit of money off it. But I'm thinking like 2 years tops, not 7, not 15, not a lifetime.
Yeah.
Let people do generics. That drives the price down.
My gut is that IP is fake and gay, that it shouldn't even exist. That's a kind of a hot take coming from an artist. Because like if I were ever to get like very rich, wealthy off of my art, it would be because of IP. Like that's the way to do it, is you have a song. But like something about it is like, where do you draw the line from like an original idea, and like why do I get the rights to like a certain phrase I've strung together? Because I come up with catchy phrases all the time, but it's just something seems fake and gay about the whole thing.
Yeah, Boulder Vaughn says it's 20 years currently for drugs. Yeah, that's too long. I could say like 2 years, especially if it's life-saving, something like that. 2 years. That's all you fucking get. Yeah. That's what I would say off of that, because then you've made a little bit of money. You know, you've helped out the world. You've been a philanthropist. But now it's time to bring that motherfucking cost down. And I don't have to do push-ups because I'm not into that deal. But it's time to bring that cost down, and okay, let's get this out to the people rather than people sitting on a bank. But hey, people love fucking Pfizer now, don't they?
They do.
Let's see. And I noticed...
Is that what's going on now? Oh, sorry. I thought you were moving on.
I was just looking at just a couple of things off of this here. The big thing before we get into surprise stupidity is, and I know you do have a hard out off of this.
Yeah, I can go until 8:40.
This might actually fail from the left, not the right. What do you think about that? Because I know they want the full bill. They want the full $3.5 trillion because that funds all their little pet projects. And this is a pork bear bill.
Whatever it takes, man. What it does is, if it's going to fail from the left, good. If it's going to fail from the right, good. The left wingers, especially the hard lefters, are just rampant malcontents. Like they're not satisfied with anything. So if it has to, like, if he dies, he dies. Like, good. Like, I don't want this. Like, I would love the government to shut down over this stuff, and it's because it's got to get worse before it gets better. So you might as now. Here I am, like an hour ago, I was saying I'm not really like a collapsitarian, but it's like on this subject, I am, dude. Like, just starve it. Just don't give it another dollar.
I do need to back off the language, I guess, because I guess MK's 2-year-old is listening. Sorry. Sorry, 2-year-old. You're going to learn an interesting new phrase for preschool. The universal pre-K is still into this, by the way. I think that's about where they have it out. It's universal pre-K, some other infrastructure stuff, but I mean, this for the most part is just they started throwing stuff in and say, okay, let's put this in the bill. Let's put this in the bill.
That should be illegal, man.
It should.
That should be illegal. Like, do you like that? That should be that's kind of a no-brainer. That should just be a constitutional amendment or something like that. And yeah, there shouldn't be these omnibus or farm bills. It's criminal, man. I just want these people to go to jail.
Yeah, I want a lot of them to go to jail. I really do.
Yeah.
And this would, by the way, if this does tank, that will take the regular infrastructure bill with it, because the leftoids that we just talked about will not vote for the $1.5 trillion package without this package. So if they kill it from the left on this, they don't vote on the other one. That one goes away, and Biden becomes an essential do-nothing president.
Do you think that he's going to last? How long do you think Biden's going to last? Were you in our poll or whatever?
I wasn't in the poll.
Yeah, what's your take on that, though?
I don't know, because the aneurysm sitting underneath his brain is kind of unpredictable.
It's like stagnating. It's like stagnant. I don't know. He is getting worse, but he's still being like, he's still trucking along, and I don't know. I feel like it might be like a full term or 2 at this point.
Well, and there again, that's the biological component of it. I don't know, because we could wake up one morning, go into the movie set that's designed to look like the Oval Office, and see him laying on his desk with blood trickling out of his ear.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because of anything other than the fact that it happened to pop that day. But as far as 25th, I don't think that he's going to. I don't think he's going to get 25th. I don't think he's going to get impeached or removed.
No. I think there's like almost a 0% chance of anything political. Like, yeah, I think he's into his health. Like literally, like he might die in office. Yeah, I don't think they're going to 25th him. I don't think they're going. Nope, nah.
Well, he's got executive privilege right now too. Keep in mind, and there are more people than just him that have their hand in the Hunter Biden cookie jar.
Yeah, dude, he's not even in charge, but like, yeah, I don't see any 25th or impeach unless they like the Republicans like destroy in 2022 and they get like a super majority or something like that. But I don't want him to go anywhere, man. Kamala is one of the most evil women on the planet.
Well, she seeks power, so anybody who seeks power is into that camp. I say, having agreed that if you can get me to 1,000 YouTube subscribers by next January, I'll run for president. What kind of a shit show do you think that would be?
You running?
Me running first off, but if I actually got to get into there.
If you won, or you mean what do you mean?
Well, the campaign in and of itself would be a shit show because they'd be finding everything to fucking get out there and throw at me.
That'd be so fun, dude.
And I don't care because it wouldn't be a serious run.
Yeah, dude, that'd be hilarious. I think as many like funny people as possible should run.
But if I did win, I know who the press secretary would be.
Who?
His name is Primo, and he's a mutual friend.
Oh, I mean, look, that would be so tight. Yeah, of course.
Can you imagine that? Him and Acosta in the press room.
Yeah.
In that deep, deep Rhode Island accent. Look here, motherfucker. I'm going to tell you what I told your friend back here. But yeah, that's... If I got into there, it would be a Coolidge presidency. Feet up on the desk, I said, okay, don't kill each other, and then you guys go figure it out. No more new laws.
I'd like
Bring me repeals.
Yeah, Dr. No.
All right. Let me close a couple of these tabs here because we are going to do Surprise Stupidity. And I hope you haven't seen this one, but it's very funny even if you have. So let's get the scene up here and let's see what's going on here. From our friends across the pond, you remember a little while ago when they were yanking people out of the streets for protesting? That was like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, they decided to take it a little bit further here. Tweeted out from Rita Panahi, just leave them there for a day or two because News for All says police are unable to move or arrest some Insulate Britain protesters as they have physically glued themselves to the ground.
I think the worst thing about it is when people scream at you. That's the worst thing. You got a police officer screaming at you? No, not the police officer. So we've got one officer screaming.
Dude, oh my gosh.
Reading from Yahoo UK, Insulate Britain glues hands and faces to floor as latest protests see 52 arrests. Reading on, Insulate Britain demonstrators continued their campaign for climate change protests by supergluing their hands and faces to the roads at various sites around London on Monday. The Metro Police said 52 protesters were arrested at sites in Bishopsgate, Upper Thames Street, Limehouse Street, and Southwark Bridge. Members of the group who are calling on the government to insulate millions of homes glued themselves to the road and had to be dragged off by police. In one instance, a man at Bishopsgate glued his face to the ground and appeared to be in pain as he was removed from the road. They targeted London's financial districts, taking to the streets of the City of London and Canary Wharf at about 8 a.m. Monday and disrupting rush hour traffic. Officers from the Metro Police and City of London attempted, I think it was supposed to be attempted, but they misspelled it, attempted to negotiate with activists who sat in the road at the junction of Bishopsgate and Chamomile Street, close to Liverpool Street. One man was physically in pain as they ripped his face off the ground that he just fucking glued there.
Dude, that's like, it's kind of like if you tape your mouth shut to make a point, bare minimum, the punishment should be ripping the tape off. Someone should be able to do like they do in the movies, like ow, and that should be at least the punishment. You should have your face ripped off of the pavement. You literally glued it there. That's like so. It's like just bro code. You did it. You should have. It's like what's in A Christmas Story where he like puts his tongue on the frost. Like that's the punishment. Is you have to get your face ripped off of the pavement. No brainer.
And I mean, they're trying to do something here because the people, the commuters in England got so pissed off at them that, yeah, they literally walked out and grabbed them out of the streets and threw them back over onto the sidewalks.
I love that
because it's just
video.
oi, we all get to work. Get your ass out of the street.
I loved it. Yeah, dude. People in the roads, I'm like, that's why I'm not a libertarian, because I like my roads.
Fuck them roads.
Yeah, dude. As long as the libertarians are disrespecters of roads, then I'm not going to be in your camp.
This is England. Also, do you have any idea how bad superglue is for the environment?
I mean, I can
that
only
is
imagine.
Nothing but major solvent chemicals. Major toxic chemicals.
These people have mental AIDS, dude. They're not thinking about shit. They're just straight up just straight up ideological AIDS.
And it's always the environmental ones too. Like Cori Bush, that was one. Cori Bush.
You think she's really believes in the climate stuff?
No, I just think it's hilarious that I slept the night on the Capitol to protest homelessness. You're surrounded by a fence and Secret Service. That was the big fence was still up at the time. Is it still up? No, you wouldn't know, I guess.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I know they kept it up for the Justice for J6 Fed Fest, but other than that, all right, let's grab a couple of these and let's head out of here for the night. I know that you got some stuff to do, and I am hungry because I haven't eaten since breakfast. That's still an hour earlier here than it is for you. Let's see.
Bacon gay time zone.
Bacon gay time zone. Okay.
FGT. It's funny because like spells fag. Sorry.
Let's see. U812 says met him. He's like an awkward kid. He doesn't run Facebook. Meta is not new. MK says met Trump. Listen to his brunch convo. He's cool AF. He swears too much and is all about making money. Other than that, well, that sounds like me. Life to Max says non-pumpkin character.
NPC. That's funny.
Katie Z says it's ma'am. Steven in the streets.
Out in these streets every day.
MK says, dude, it's so wild you lived in the belly of the beast. Coming from somebody, well, I'm not going to say where he lives, but I would call where he lives the belly of the beast too. Boulder Vaughn says, make him show feet. Katie Z says the grunts were intense. She's also sitting on 7 weeks of PTO right now because she never uses it. Nephilim says, got him. Nice, J. Edgar. Can't escape the push-ups. Or the b-ball court, by the way. Why won't you play basketball with Neff?
Dude, you guys need to stop talking smack, dude.
I don't even know the story behind this.
A thing. I don't know. It's just like Nephilim is like, the instigator of many things. I feel like he like plots behind my back.
I was told to ask you that on your stream on Contemporary.
It was in my chat, yeah. Oh, so I was good. When did you guys plan to talk about this?
He hit my chat up and he told me if we raided you to ask you about that, and because you don't have Twitch anymore, I couldn't raid you. So
damn.
I did ask you in the chat, but I think you missed it.
Yeah, they were flying by today.
Nephilim says IP on IP. Boulder Vaughn says
it's so simple and childish. I love that.
Penicillin was given away after created, and now it's $500 a month. MK says, chill, my 2-year-old is listening. Boulder Vaughn says, Green New Steel. Nephilim Ninja says, or Apu nothing president. Boulder Vaughn picked August 20th, 2022. Apparently, the 2-year-old is a big Contemporary fan. Sweet. Start him young. That's what Winston did. Start him young. Let's see. Medical retirement by personal choice. MK Ultra says Kamala cast a spell on me. Legend Max says, "Come on, MK."
Pray for MK Ultra, man. He's attracted to Kamala Harris. Gotta pray for him, dude.
Bull Devon says, "Name 2 people who you would vote for president." Go first.
Like realistic ones, like Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump, Thomas Massey.
That's interesting. I would actually probably say Rand and God, I can't think of another one. Willingly.
I want the ticket to be Trump, Rand Paul.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I want. I think that's winnable. And I want DeSantis specifically to stay in Florida. I don't think he should be president. But yeah, Trump, Rand Paul is who I've already endorsed them. Like, I think that's the right call.
Left in Max says Sharia cut off their hands. Nephilim says she's really sticking to her position. Katie Zed says, what in the retardation? Boulder says, just use a xylene thinner. And where's Ron Helton? He had to go to the store. MK says, Greener Pastures was awesome today. Glad I could hear it. I missed it today, unfortunately, because I was in the middle of talking to a police officer. Nephilim says, I actually don't even play basketball. I just wanted to mess you.
Yeah, I know.
And
yeah.
That is it. Where's the outro music? There it is. So, with that, we're going to head on out of here for the night. Thanks everybody who came by and chatted with us out in the live chat. And if you want to continue the conversation with me, you can find me over on Twitter. That is at EdsBlock Twitter with a 1 in place of the I. You can find Discord. You can find the Instagram, JEdgar102 over there. I will answer in all of those different places. Or you can email me. The email is in there. If you want to continue the conversation with my wonderful guest, who is the progenitor of this music as well, why don't you tell them where they can find you?
10 a.m. weekdays on DLive, YouTube. You can find me. Just look. Well, I guess we're on Ignoramus Media on YouTube right now. I have like 4 channels because I'm always getting strikes. But if you look me up, you'll be able to find me. 10 a.m. every weekday. One true time zone, though. Eastern time. Supremacy.
And yeah, go check out the Twitter. That is at Ignoramus Steve. Go find that out there. The Instagram, you were Ignoramus Media on Instagram too, correct?
Ignoramus underscore media.
Go check all those sites out here, and I will be back here myself at 7 a.m. Central Time for Contemporary as we do more headlines and more talk about some of the stuff that we'll be talking about next week over on the Red Net Show, which will feature Mr. Quest Fanning. He'll be coming in here next week for that, so come by and check that out, and hopefully at some point we'll get the regular co-host back, but, well, we'll see what happens there. And with that, we are going to head out of here. And as I always say, never take the words of bloggers, podcasters, or journalists as gospel. Find out the facts and draw your own conclusions. Stephen, lead them out with some last words.
Much love. Believe in Jesus. Have a good night.
Take care.